Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I'm playing Arkham Horror the card game. Specifically, I'm going to be starting a new campaign called the Dunwich Legacy. Now, this game has just been re-released, I believe, in the new format, meaning there's one box with the investigators and one box with the campaign. But I bought this when it came in the old way, which was a smaller box with two investigators and the first two parts of an 8-part series that makes up the campaign. So I'm going to be following along the instructions on that. I'm not going to bore you by reading this entire lengthy prologue here. I'm just going to give you a summary. So Dr. Henry Armitage has invited me, and I'm playing two investigators today, and I'll cover them in a minute. He's invited me to his office at the Miskatonic University. He is the head librarian, and he's very nervous. He's been drinking some wine. He seems to be very anxious. And he explains to me that he's looking for two colleagues of his, Dr. Francis Morgan, professor of archaeology, and Warren Rice, professor of languages. He tells you that they were both supposed to meet him, and they have not. It's a very important meeting. Again, he's very nervous about this meeting, and he asks you if you might be able to go and find them. He tells you that you can probably find Dr. Francis Morgan at the Miskatonic University. At the Miskatonic University, he also tells you could probably find Dr. Francis Morgan at the Clover Club, an upscale speakeasy and gambling joint. So you get a choice here. You can either go look for Professor Warren Rice, or you can go look for Francis Morgan, and depending on which one you choose, that will define the scenario. Now, I usually pay attention to this. In his discussion, he tells you, I sent for you because I'm worried Warren might be in trouble. I would appreciate it greatly if you could find him for me. You may also wish to ask Francis for help if you can reach him. That implies to me that he thinks Francis Morgan might be of some assistance when I go looking for Warren Rice. So because of that, I'm going to choose to go look for Dr. Francis Morgan first, which tells me I'm going to be playing scenario 1B, the house always wins. So I have set up the deck to reflect that, and I'm going to read you the very short part of this. Dr. Armitage suggested you track down his associate, Dr. Francis Morgan. He's not sure whether Dr. Morgan is in trouble, but he's not particularly happy with his colleague's present choice of company. He's in the Clover Club, a notorious gambling joint somewhere downtown. Finding the club's exact location isn't easy. You have to grease a few palms just to learn which of the downtown restaurants operates as the club's front. That restaurant is La Bella Luna, a somewhat upscale Italian eatery by the theater. You change into your Sunday best and make your way there. In front of La Bella Luna stands a man in a pinstripe suit who sizes you up as you approach. Enjoy yourselves, he says with a snake-like grin as he holds open the restaurant's front doors. All right, so I have set it up the way it was described. My characters will begin at La Bella Luna, which is right here, and these are not investigated yet, so I haven't flipped the cards over. It told me to put the Clover Club pit boss in the Clover Club lounge, and then there's two existing places that I can investigate. I have arranged the encounter deck. I've got the agenda and the act set out, which I'll read those shortly. Actually, let me go ahead and read them now. So the agenda 1A. Now remember, the agenda is what you do not want to advance. You want to advance the act, which gets you nearer the better part of the story. The Clover Club. You have entered the Clover Club casino in search of Dr. Morgan. The club is bustling at this late hour, filled with patrons looking to relax and drink or make it big. You don't appear to be in much danger. Each criminal enemy gains the aloof trait. The aloof trait means they will not engage me to fight as long as I don't do damage to them. Forced. If an investigator deals damage to a criminal enemy, immediately advance this. Now, this will advance when it gets 4 doom tokens placed on it. Now, the act 1A says beginner's luck. You need to find Dr. Morgan. The club is packed. Perhaps somebody knows where he is. As an action, When you reveal a chaos token, you may treat that token as if it were any other token in the chaos bag. If you do, remember that you have cheated. Group limit once per round. Objective: when the investigators have collected the requisite number of clues, they must immediately spend them in advance. This takes 4 per investigator, so it's going to take 8 clues to flip this over and read the back, which will tell me how to continue the story. Let's see, what else do I need to tell you about? I have already shuffled my my investigator decks and pulled a mulligan on both of them, which allows you to just pick cards you don't like, put them back in, and draw up to your 5-hand count. What I did was I drew some weapon and fight cards, and I figured I'm not supposed to be fighting in this public place, so I got rid of those and hopefully drew some better cards. I still drew some that are sort of violent in nature, so that may not help me. But right now, I am going to be playing Jenny Barnes. She is the dilettante. She has 8 physical health and 7 sanity. In her deck here, she has twin 45s, which I just think is a really cool weapon. I'm also playing Mark Harrigan, the soldier. He has 9 physical health and 5 sanity. Now, Jenny's special ability, on her turn, you collect 1 additional resource during each upkeep phase, which means she'll just get faster resources. Mark Harrigan's, you begin with Sophie in play. So there's a card that came with his deck called Sophie. As an action, after damage is placed on a card you control, whether it's an ally or him or whatever, draw a card. So I can always do that. Now the Sophie card, which is always in play, it's the Mark Harrigan deck only. As a fast action, I can take 1 direct damage and get +2 on a skill of my choice. Forced. If Mark Harrigan has 5 or more damage on him, I have to flip this over to the bad side, which that's not good. and I'll tell you can go ahead and see what it is. It says she cannot leave play. You get -1 to each of your skills. If Mark Harrigan has 4 or less damage on him, flip Sophie. So again, this is automatically in play, and if it gets flipped over, he has not so good luck on his rolls. All right, before I begin, one last thing. When I play Arkham Horror, the card game, there's 4 different levels of difficulty. There's easy, standard, hard, and expert. I've never played expert. I've seen it played, and it's impossible. I don't care what anyone says. You have to cheat, I think, to win at expert. That's not true. I know people have probably won at it, but you got to be extremely lucky. I have played on hard, and I've never won one. I've never won a game on the hard level. On standard, I have won, but it was rare. I mean, it took some real effort. What I do for these videos that I record, I play on easy mode. That does not mean that you cannot die. It does not mean you cannot lose. What it means is you're more likely to get further into the story, which is really what I'm looking for. I want to play the story. So I'm playing it on easy, mainly because I just want to enjoy the game. I don't want to worry too much about dying early on. Now, it can happen. You can draw tokens out of the bag that can go south on you very quick, but you're more likely to get further into the game at the easy mode. All right, I'm going to take a real quick break, make sure I've got everything set up properly. I got to find the tokens for Jenny and Mark that I can use to move around. I got to find those, and I'll be right back to get this game started. All right, I found my tokens. They are starting at La Bella Luna. What I'm going to do is I'm going to usually probably go Jenny first, then Mark Harrigan. Jenny, you can change that anyway. After the upkeep phase and after the mythos phase, if I want Mark to go first, I can do that. But right now, I'm just going to go left to right. Jenny starts with 5 resources, so does Mark. I've already drawn her cards. La Bella Luna does have 2 clues on it and a shroud of 2. Her investigate is 3. Let's see if I got anything that could help. Perception, yes. I will play Perception, which gives me +2. So she's doing a 5 investigate versus a shroud of 2. I like those odds. So 5 versus 2. 5 and 0 is a modifier. This is so I got 5, so she did get a clue. And I'm going to go ahead and Mark's investigate is 2. So he's not got as good of investigate. I'm going to go ahead and investigate again with her. Oh, I don't have anything to do that. But he can contribute. Let's see if he's got anything to contribute. No. But he can contribute this one, which is a wild, which I'm going to do. I'm going to contribute 1 card. And you can do that. Your ally in your same location can contribute up to 1 card to the cause. This is a wild, so she's at 4 versus 2. Not as good of odds as I like, but I'll take it. 4 versus 2, and I drew 0 again. All right, so she got the second clue. And for her third action, she will move to the Clover Club Lounge. I will flip her over to gray to indicate she is gone. And the Clover Club, comfortable leather couches, mahogany furniture, and an array of beautiful art Greek gamblers, tempting them into the life of the would-be affluent. I will flip this over. There are no clues on this location. It does have a shroud of 2. While it is Act 1, it is Clover Club Lounge gains. As an action, I can discard an ally asset from your hand and gain 2 clues from the token pool. That's not bad. Because remember, it's going to take 8 clues to get this thing up. But she does not have an ally, and she just used up all her actions. So she is done for that turn. Now it is Mark's turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. He does not have an ally either to get those 2 clues. So he will move with her. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to... So the Clover Pit boss is here. Now remember, he is aloof. He's not going to attack. It says forced. After an investigator at Clover Club Pit boss's location gains any number of clues, Clover Club Pit bot readies, engages that investigator, and makes an immediate attack. So, wow. Okay, if an investigator deals damage to a criminal enemy, so he is a criminal. So if I attack him and defeat him, this will immediately advance. So I want to try and not attack. I mean, there's no clues here, so I can't get any. But I could get 2 clues from the token pool if I discard an ally, which I don't have. So that's okay. So Mark is going to move here for 1 action. He's going to move... Do I want to go to the card room or the club bar? Let's go to the club bar. This is his second action. The shelves behind the bar sag beneath the weight of all manners of bootleg drinks. Cheap ales, moonshine, expensive bottles of wine, aged whiskey. If only you had a couple hours to kill. All right, I flip it over. While it is in Act 1, it is Clover Club gains. As an action, I can spend 2 resources to gain 2 clues from the token pool and draw 2 cards. Remember that you have had a drink. All right, so I will do that. For his third action, I will spend 2 resources, gain 2 clues. So now I'm halfway there. I'm at 4. He's got 2 clues. And it says, and draw 2 cards. All right, 1, 2, so I get to draw 1. There's an ally and something else. Okay, so he moved, and he did an action to spend. So he is done. That is the end of the round. It is now the upkeep phase. I ready these guys. Flip them over. There is no creature phase, by the way. Only the creature phase if you have an attacking enemy, and he's not going to attack me. All right, and then I get to draw a card. Each one of them draws a card. She got Liquid Courage, and he gets Counterpunch. All right. Okay. Now it is the start of the Mythos phase. You place a Doom token on the act, or the agenda, excuse me, and then each character draws a card from the encounter deck. And I did shuffle this, but I'm going to go ahead and just shuffle it again, just so you see that it's fully shuffled. All right, so Jenny went first, so she will draw, and she gets O'Banion Thug. While he's engaged with you, you cannot gain resources. Okay, oh, by the way, each one of them got a resource during upkeep, but Jenny gets an extra resource on her upkeep. All right, so the O'Banion Thug is with Jenny, but remember, the Thug, it will move with her, I believe, but it will not attack her because it's got the aloof right now. Um, and so she's got him. Now he's going to follow her, which is not good. Now, Mark draws, he drew a treachery card. Something in the drink. Surge. Revelation. Each player who has had a drink loses one action. Okay, so he's going to lose an action on his next turn. And it's surge, meaning I have to draw another card. And he's got a mobster. So he's got a mobster attached to him. So remember, as they move around the bar, these guys are going to follow him. But at some point, we're going to have to fight. So they're going to collect bad guys as we move. All right. Actually, that's not true. I think they stay where they are because they're not engaged. When you draw them, they don't engage with you. They just are there. Let me double check that. But at the start of the scenario, which stops those enemies from engaging you. Yeah, at some points they may lose the live card. So they're not engaging me, which means they will not follow me. All right, so this is good. That means the monster will stay here at the drink thing, and Jenny will stay, the Albanian thug will stay here, which I can deal with that. All right, so he gets one less action on his turn. I'll have to remember that. It is now Jenny's turn. Jenny will move to the Clover Club card room. As you approach the card room, the clinking of poker chips and the shuffling of cards is punctuated by shouts of revelry and frustration. Your thoughts are nearly drowned out by the racket. All right, once again, no clues. And it says, while it is in Act 1, card room gains this. I can spend 2 resources to reveal a random chaos token from the bag. If it is the Elder symbol, gain 2 clues and 2 resources. If it is an even number, gain 2 clues. If it is an odd number or one of the bad things, nothing happens. Okay, so for her second action, she will spend 2 resources and reveal a random token. All right, shake them up good here. I'd love to draw that Elder token. That would be awesome. All right. I drew a skull. So if it's a skull, nothing happens. All right, well, that's not good. All right, so that her first action was to move. That was her second action. I am going to do it one more time. All right, come on, draw something good. I drew a -1. If it is an even number, gain 2 clues. So she wasted all of that. If it's an odd number, nothing happens. All right. Well, that's the end of her turn. Now remember, he gets 2 turns. So 1, he will move. And 2, he's going to draw a token. This is kind of like you're gambling, right? That's kind of cool. I like that kind of thematically for the game. That's thematic of the game. So the mobster stays here and Albanian's thug stays there. All right, come on, draw something good. -2. Now that's an even number. It says if it is an even number, gain 2 clues from the token pool. So he gets 2 tokens. I now have 6 tokens in all. I need to advance that. So they've got to get 2 more clues. And the only way you can do that is to pick a fight. Oh, all right. Well, anyway, that is the end of his turn. Her turn is over. That is the end of the round. Creature phase or enemy phase does not happen because they're not engaged with me. It is now upkeep. I flip these over. Jenny gets 2 resources. Mark gets 1, and they each draw a card. He draws evidence. Ooh, that's a good one. And she draws evidence. Oh, I could not have asked for better. Okay. All right. So I'll show you what those are going to do me in a minute. That was pure dumb luck right there. All right. She went first, so she's going to draw her encounter card, and she draws Twist of Fate. Reveal a random token. If you reveal the Elder or a positive number, nothing happens. If you reveal any other number, take a damage. If you reveal one of those symbols, take 2 horror. Okay. Ugh. I drew a symbol. She takes 2 horror. All right, and she's got 7, so she's not in too bad of a shape. And then this one goes here, and then Mark will draw same thing. I did shuffle that, I promise. There's duplicates of all these cards, by the way. All right, come on, Mark, draw something good. He drew a negative. If you drew any other number, take a damage. So he takes a damage. And he's got 9 health, so that was okay. All right, this is good for me because Jenny can go and she can draw. She can play this evidence card. Oh, it says play after you defeat an enemy. Discover one clue. Oh, so she can't. All right. So in order to get the 8 clues, she needs 2 more clues. To do that, does she have an ally? She doesn't. All right. I really could use an ally to get this. After an investigator gains any number of clues, he readies and engages and makes an immediate attack. All right, she will move to the Clover Pit boss. That's one action. She will play for 3 her Derringer. It has 3 ammo on it. And discard an ally if you gain 2 clues. She does not have an ally. She needs an ally bad. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put a Doom token. There's a second Doom token there. All right. Okay, think. She moved. She played a card. She's got one more action. She doesn't want to. I don't want to beat him because that's immediately going to advance that. Don't want to do that. So for her third action, she will move. But she's going to draw a card, and she got a treachery. Searching for Izzy. After searching, attach searching for Izzy to the location farthest from you. Well, she's central here, so they're all, I'll just put it with Mark. And then it says it takes 2 actions. Investigate. If you succeed, instead of discovering clues, you can discard this. Forced. When the game ends, if searching for Izzy is in play, she gains 1 mental trauma. The mental trauma stays with you from scenario to scenario. You really don't want that. So she's going to have to go back here and deal with this. All right. That is the end of her turn. I was hoping she'd draw an ally. She did not. Mark's turn. Mark. Now, Mark could do this. Revelation. Attach searching to the farthest location from you. Now, this is her treachery. So I think it means if you discard searching for Izzy. I think she has to search for it, even though it doesn't say Jenny on it. Since she drew the card, I'm pretty sure it's her treachery. So Mark will move, spend 2 resources, gain 2 clues, and draw 2 cards. Remember that you have had a drink. Now, if he draws 2 clues here, he can come back and do this. He's going to go here. Okay, now hold on. Discard an ally, gain 2 clues. So he could move here, play an ally, and then discard it to gain the 2 clues. The 2 clues will then force, after investigator gains and clues, ready, engages, and makes an attack, an immediate attack. So it attacks immediately. If an investigator deals damage to a criminal enemy, immediately advance. I'm going to hold off on that because if I go here, spend 2, gain 2 clues from the token pool, and draw 2 cards. Remember that you have had a drink. And I guess he's going to have another drink. So that's the cost of the resources. I understand. So he's going to spend 2. He gets the 2 clues. 1, 2. Now, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It says you can immediately spend them. So before he takes his third action, because that costs an action. Before he takes his third action, I can advance the act. So you flip it over. After speaking to a number of gamblers and servers, it seems as though Dr. Morgan has had quite the run lately. Instead of cashing out his winnings, he was convinced to double down. He was last seen entering the guarded hall near the back of the card room. Put the set-aside darkened hall into play. All right, darkened hall is this one. Put it into play. It only links to here. So I'll put a little arrow to indicate that there's a link to that room. All right, and it says, put aside the dark hall. If it is Agenda 1, it is. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a criminal is discarded. Spawn that enemy in the darkened hall. Okay, so discard, enemy. There we go. We got a mobster in here. Okay. All right. So that advanced, and now I get to read Act 2. Dr. Morgan is somewhere in the private section of the club where only VIPs and the club managers are allowed. If you are to find him, you're going to have to sneak or fight your way in. Objective: only investigators in the VIP area may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. So I've got to get to the VIP area, which means I've got to go through the darkened hall. Okay, and it takes 2 clues per player, so I need a total of 4 clues to advance this. All right, that is, and he's got one more turn. So on his 3rd turn, he will move to the Clover Club card room. That is the end of his turn. It is now the creature phase, or enemy phase. No enemies are going to attack me. Now I put a Doom token on, and I have to draw a card. So Jenny went first, so she draws an O'Banion Thug. Man, these thugs are piling up, but it doesn't attack her or engage with her. And then Mark draws Arousing Suspicions. Place 1 doom on each criminal enemy at your location. There is no criminal here, only the search for Izzy. If no dooms were placed by this effect, lose 2 resources. All right, so he loses 2. All right, that was the Mythos phase. You know what? I totally forgot. I need to, the creature phase, I need to draw a card for each one of them. She got first aid. He gets teamwork, and then they each get resources. She gets 2, he gets 1. Now I put the Doom token on, which I just did, and then draw the cards. All right, so now that's the end of the Mythos phase. Now it becomes, and I forgot to flip these over. Sometimes you just get going into a game and you forget where you are at. All right, so now it is Jenny's turn. I need to get her away from these bad guys. So she will go 1, 2. She's going to move to the darkened hall, which flips. No clues for Shroud. When darkened hall is revealed, put into play the 3 set-aside back hallway cards. All right, so here's what I'm going to have to do. There are 3 of these. I'm just going to shuffle them. They're all different, if I remember right. And I put them here. I can move to any one of those. Now, the mobster is not going to attack. He's just at the door. And it says forced. When darkened hall is revealed, put into play. So I did that. So she went 1, 2. And now I can move her into one of these locations. But you know what I'm going to do? 1. Oh, she should have done 2 here. You know what? I'm going to retro that. I'm going to stop. I'm going to go 1. And then for her 2 remaining actions, she'll investigate and discard this. And then this did not get revealed. That didn't. But I know it's coming, so it's okay. I'll just leave this flipped over to indicate it hasn't been revealed yet. And she is done. On Mark's turn, Mark will move here for 1 action, reveal it. And then he gets to choose to move. Do I want to go back and protect her? Because I think what's going to happen as soon as this gets a 4th token, this is going to force all the bad guys probably to rush me. I don't know. I can't remember. But I think that's what's going to happen, which means I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 guys coming here, all engaging with Jenny. I don't know. Let me think about this. All right. I'm going to go ahead and reveal. So he will move. I've got 3 options here. He'll go to the first one. I roll it over, and it's the art gallery. It's got 2 clues on it, 2 shield, shroud. After you fail a skill test while investigating, you lose 2 resources. So he is here, and I need clues. I got to get them. So for his 3rd and final, he went 1. He was here. He went 1, 2, and now he'll investigate once. Shroud of 2. He's got an investigative 2. Is there anything I can do to bump that? I can bump it with that. Okay. So, Evan, oh, here we go. Oh, no, that's a defeat. Okay. But it does give me 2. which I'm going to play. I'm going to use this one instead since I'm searching for clues. That bumps him up to 4. 4 versus a Shroud of 2. Do I want to bump that up anymore? Yeah, I'm going to make it 5. 5 versus 2. I really need the clues, and I don't want to lose resources. 5 versus 2. Oh, what is that symbol? Ooh. So you look at this card, and it tells you it's -3. So 5 minus 3 is 2. I tied, so I do get the clue. So I did get 1 clue from that location. And there's a total of 2 here, so I'll put 1 more on there. All right, that is the end of his turn. Now the bad stuff. All right, so enemy phase. Let's call it creature phase. Enemy phase, no one's attacking me right now, so that goes away. Then I do upkeep. Flip these over. She gets 2 resources. He gets 1, and they each draw a card. She draws sneak attack. Okay. He draws perception. Okay. And they can only have 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's at his max hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I gotta remember that. All right. That is the end of the turn. It is now the Mythos phase. We put the 4th token. That flips the agenda. This is not good. I know this is not going to be good. Your questioning has drawn the attention of several men, hired thugs by the look of them. Francis don't want to be bothered, one of them says. We suggest you leave the premises before we force you to leave. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. If the players have completed extracurricular activity, I have not. That's the first, that was the first scenario, I believe. Yeah. Advance to Agenda 2B. If the house always wins, which is what I'm playing, is the first scenario in the campaign, advance to Agenda 2A. So I do this. All right, but first I've got to shuffle this back into this deck. All right, so let me do that. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I tell you, this is one of my, just absolutely one of my favorite games. You just never know how it's going to go. Every game you play is different. There's strategy. There's a little bit of luck here. It's just fun game. I highly encourage you to try it if you haven't. All right, so Agenda 2A is revealed. It only takes 3 Doom tokens to advance. Underground Muscle. Most of the other patrons seem oblivious to the mobsters and goons closing in around you. But you recognize this for what it really is. You're about to get roughed up. So I think I've got 3 more turns before all these guys descend on me. So it is now Jenny's turn. Jenny needs to get out of here. Okay. She will move 1, 2. She's going to move here to reveal this one. There's only 2 clues on it, and it's got a Shroud of 1. The back alley. I can resign. We can get out this way. So it's an escape. That's cool. And it's got a victory point of 1. So if I succeed in investigating it, I get victory points. Victory points are what you put up for Act 3A, or what you put up for to upgrade your cards to more powerful cards. All right, so she moved. She was here. She went 1, 2. So she's got 1 more action. This has 2 clues on it. And it would be really nice if I could get both of those clues in one shot. I cannot. Okay. So that went away. You collect 1 additional resource, and his is after damage is placed on card, draw a card. So he hasn't been damaged yet. So, well, actually, that's not true. He did take a damage. After damage is placed on a card you control, draw a card. So I'm going to draw that. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to draw that 8th card. Of course, he drew a treachery. Haunted. Add haunted to your threat area. It's -1 to each skill. He has to spend 2 actions to discard it on his turn. I'll probably end up doing that. All right, I forgot to take that whenever he did his damage. All right, so Jenny's got 1 more action. She might as well go ahead and investigate. It's got a Shroud of 1. She has an Investigator 3, but I'm going to bump that up with this one. It adds 2, so she's at 5 versus 1. I like those odds, but remember, there's an auto-fail token in here. There's an auto-fail token that isn't good to get. All right, 5 versus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4, so she does get one of the clues. They now have 2 out of the 4 clues they need to advance the act. Excuse me, hit the microphone. All right, that is her turn. Now, his turn. He will spend 2 actions to get rid of the haunted weakness, and he's only got 1 left. So he will investigate. He can play perception to bump that from 4 to 2, and I will play. Let me do something else. You know what? I'm going to use the Sophie card. Take 1 direct damage. You get +2 on your skill. So I'll take another point of damage. And now he's at 2, 4, 6. 6 versus 2. I like those odds. Now again, remember, he could pull the auto fail. 6 versus 2. 6 minus 0 is 6. So he gets the last clue here. And that is his turn. He is done. It is now the enemy phase. Nobody's attacking me. I go to upkeep phase. Flip these over. Jenny gets 2 resources. She's got lots of resources. I need to start spending those. And he gets 1. And they each draw a card. She draws guts. And I think that draws her to her max hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, she's at 7. He is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He is now at his max hand size. He got the home front. Mark Harrigan, if this skill is successful during an attack, remove 1 damage from Mark to the attacked enemy. Ooh, I like that. All right, so he could take 1 damage off if he ever fights somebody, which it's coming. All right, so now it's the Mythos phase. I put a token on here. Jenny will draw a card. She draws Hunted Down. If there are no, unengaged criminal enemies in play, Hunted Down gains Surge. Okay, so I got to draw again. Arousing suspicions. Place 1 doom on each criminal enemy at your location. Well, there is nobody here, so that doesn't happen. If no doom is placed, lose 2 resources. All right, so she loses 2. Now Mark draws his. Hunted Down. There are no unengaged enemies, so he has to surge and draw again. Twist of Fate. Reveal a random token. All right, this is that one again. All right, I really want the Elder Sign because otherwise I'm going to take 1 damage or 2 horror. All right, I got if you reveal any other number, take 1 damage. All right, so he takes another point of damage. Okay, he needs his first aid pretty soon. All right. That was not bad. Okay, so now it is Jenny's turn. They need 1 more clue. So as a turn, she's going to investigate. She is at 3 versus 1, and I'm going to contribute evidence, which bumps her up to 5 versus 1. 5 versus 1. 5 plus 1 is 6, so she gets the last clue. Now, guess what? I've got 4 clues, and it says only investigators in the VIP area. Only investigators in the VIP area may spend to advance clues. I think I'm in the VIP area, right? Isn't that where I'm at? I would assume that you get through the darkened back hall doorways. Let me look at this one real quick. That's what it is. All right, the VIP area is this one. I didn't realize it was an actual card. All right, so knowing that, she will move. All right, so on her first action, she investigated. Second action, she will move here and flip this. There are 2 clues on it. It's the VIP area. While you are in the VIP area, you cannot draw cards or gain resources during the upkeep phase. And it has a 3 shroud and 2 tokens on it. Now, she gets the victory for this because she investigated it. He gets the victory for that because he investigated it. So they're at 2 victory now. That's good. Were there any other victory points? No. If I defeat the club boss, I get a victory point, but hopefully I don't have to deal with him. All right, so she didn't investigate. She moved. She's got 1 more action. I guess she could. Well, she can't draw a card and she can't gain resources. So the only thing she really can do is play a card. I'm going to spend. So she moved. She investigated, but she's only got 1 more action. So I'm going to play First Aid. Heal 1 damage or horror from an investigate. Uses 3 supplies. Oh, it takes an action. Spend a supply. So I can't do it on her turn. But what I can do is play it for 2 and get it out. And it's got 3 uses. All right, that may come in handy in a minute. All right, that is her turn. She is done. Mark will move 1 and then 2. And he gets 1 more action. He cannot... He could investigate, but he doesn't need it because they've got the requisite clues to go through here. Instead, what he's going to do... So Twist of Fate got played. He has got 4 resources. I'm going to get... So he moved once, twice. So he's only got 1 more action. So he will play... After another moves from your location. I'm going to put Safeguard in place. And what that allows me to do is, since we're at the same location, when she moves to another location, I can exhaust this to move to that location as a fast action. I like that. All right, he is done. It is now the enemy phase. No enemies are engaged yet. I flip them over. They do not get resources, and they don't draw cards because they're in the VIP area. So it is now the Mythos phase. I put a Doom token here. 1 more, and this will advance. She draws a card. She draws Cursed Luck. Put it into play in your area. You get -1 skill during skill tests. After you succeeded a skill test by 1 or more, you can discard it. Okay. And he draws Swarm of Rats. It's a creature. This one is not a criminal, so it will attack him. So it goes in his spot, and it will attack him on his next turn if he doesn't defeat it. All right. It is now Jenny's turn. All right, Jenny will... She can't do anything in the VIP area. So she will turn in the 2 clues. 1, 2, 3, 4. To flip this over to Act 2. If the players have not completed extracurricular activity, I have not. You find Dr. Morgan gambling in one of the VIP rooms, but he appears to be playing cards with 2 unconscious bodies. His pupils dilated as though he is in a trance. He can't seem to stop laughing, smiling, and chatting with the other players, end quote. Put the set-aside Dr. Morgan into play in the VIP area. Dr. Morgan is right here. Okay. Advance to Act 3, all in. Okay. So, advance to Act 3. Act 3. 3A or 3... There's a 3A. Oh, all in. Okay, so, all in. With or without Dr. Morgan, you have to get out of here fast. While Dr. Morgan is not controlled by a player, he gains. As an action, you can parlay test 3 mental to shake him out of the daze. If you succeed, place 1 clue from the token bank on him. If there are 1 clue per player on Dr. Morgan, you can take control of him. Objective: if each undefeated investigator has resigned, advance. All right, has resigned. So I can resign when I get to the back alley and escape. All right, so this is good. This is good. This is really good. All right, so he's here. It is now... Jenny's turn. So she's going to do that. She's going to do that. Put the set aside. Okay, hold on. Then you have to do this. I'm going to try to parlay. Her sanity is 3. Is there anything I can do to help that? I got Guts, which adds +2. I'm going to do that. That's 5. And I'm going to choose... that's 5 versus 3. I don't like those odds. Can he contribute anything? He can contribute 1 card. Yep, he can contribute... Unexpected Courage. He could do that, which gives her 2. So that's 3, 4, 5... 6, 7. So I'll do that. She's got 7 versus 3. Just don't draw the Auto-fail. 7 versus 3. 7 minus 1 is 6, so I get to put a clue token on him. For her second action, she'll do it again. I think each one, right? Yeah, it takes only 2 per person. So she's going to do it again, and she can contribute Liquid Courage, which knocks it up to 4, 5, and then he can contribute 1 more to this. 6. So she's at 6 versus 3 now. 6 versus 3. 6 minus 1 is 5. So there's the extra clue, and she gains control of him. Oh, you know what? Minus 1 skill, but that's okay. After you succeed, so this goes away. I forgot that I had the bad luck, but she easily beat those. The first one was a draw of 0, and this one was a draw of what? Minus 1. So easily got that. All right, so she now controls him, which means she can, after you defeat an enemy, exhaust Morgan, draw a card. Okay. What she can do on her third and final action is, now since he's in her area, he will move with her. So for her third and final action, she will move to the darkened hall. Now the bad news is there is a bad guy there, and he has not. Oh, he's gonna. Third, okay, we'll just play it by ear. So she will move here, and she is exhausted. That is, her turn is done. Mark will move from the VIP area here. I could fight him, or I could just get out of the back alley and run, but I don't want to leave her stranded. So for his second action, he's going to play. Now they can all move. They can only move 1, so they'll all be able to go here, which means I might be able to do this. So he could fight the mobster now, which will not advance this, because there's nothing on here about advancing it. Oh, I forgot about the rats, the stupid rats. All right, so for his first action, he will fight the rats. Sorry. He is a fight of 5 versus a fight of 1. I like those odds. 5 versus 1. And I got the Elder Sign, which is great. It means he succeeds in defeating them. After damage is placed on a card, draw a card. Okay, so I didn't do that. I should have been able to draw more cards because he took a lot of damage. But, I forgot about this. I could have done that. All right. He defeated the rats, and that was his first action. Second action, he will move here. And for his third and final action, he will play. Do I want to play something? He's got 2. He can only do 2. Choose an investigator at your move that investigator. I'm gonna play shortcut. Fast. Play only during your turn. This does not count as my third and final action. Choose an investigator at your location. Move that investigator to a connecting location. I'm gonna move Jenny here. And he's got 1 more action. So on his third and final action, he will move with her. He is done. And now that is the end of that. Okay, it is now the enemy phase. There are no enemies engaged, but it is now upkeep. So they flip. They each get a resource. She gets 2, he gets 1, and they draw a card. He got his 45, which took long enough. She gets sleight of hand, which isn't going to help me much. Okay, and the Doom token gets placed. That's 3. So clear these off. This gets advanced. You hear a crash from somewhere outside and screams of pain in the lounge. A terrible monstrosity smashes through the entrance of the club, crushing the stairwell and knocking over gangsters and patrons. Spawn a random enemy from the set-aside hideous abominations in Clover Club Lounge. Okay? So it told me at the start that there were these hideous abominations, which are 1, 2, 3. It was these guys. Yeah. So there's 3 of them. I'm just going to shuffle them up real fast. And one of them gets set aside in the Clover Club Lounge. It is a conglomeration of spears. I have no idea what that is. Shuffle the rest of that encounter deck. Okay, so the rest of these, shuffle the rest of them. Shuffle the rest. Set aside striking fear, which is all these, I believe. Yep. And the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. So all these go back in the encounter deck. All right, so that's pretty ugly. But the good news is, I think I've won this one. All right, let me just shuffle these up. It's not going to really matter unless they draw something really, really nasty on their terror card turn, which knowing my luck, that's what's going to happen. All right. Move all investigators and unengaged enemies from La Bella Luna to the Clover Club Lounge. Remove La Bella Luna from the game. Hold on. Move all... Really? I could have gotten at it. Move all investigators and unengaged enemies from La Bella Luna to the Clover Club Lounge. Oh, they're all going here. Oh, man. This is not good. Oh, this is not good. All the enemies go here. Okay, La Bella Luna, which is the exit, it goes away. I can't exit. And my two heroes are now back. How did that happen? How did they spawn a random enemy? Blah, blah, blah. Move all investigators from La Bella. Remove all investigators from La Bella Luna to the Clover. Oh, okay. If they were here, they would get moved into here. Oh, good. Woo! I was like, how do you get forced to go from the back alley up here? Okay. So if they were in La Bella Luna, they would be forced to go here. Oh. All right. So that got revealed, and now we're at the final agenda. Chaos and the Clover Club. Amidst the chaos and confusion, the strange abominations attack everyone in the club. Screams echo through the halls as the blood begins to spray. Forced. At the start of the enemy phase, discard each criminal enemy in the same location as an abomination. Discard each criminal enemy. Oh, wow. That thing's going to kill all of them. Now, do I get the victory point since this one got defeated? I don't know. I'm going to play it that I don't, but that would be nice. All right. So... let's see. It is now time to draw a card. Jenny draws Rotting Remains. Test 3 sanity. For each point you fail, take a horror. Her sanity is 3. She will contribute... She won't contribute anything. She has nothing to contribute. All right. 3 sanity. 3 sanity. So this is not good. Can he help her? He can do dodge, because his sanity is 3 also. Well, he's gonna, but she's already lost sanity. So let's go ahead and play that. Oop, that comes over here, and clean them out was one of his, and dodge was, I can't remember. Did I have a dodge card in her hand? I think I did, and I had to clean them out. So that was right. All right. So now she's at 4 sanity versus 3. Test 3. 4 versus 3. I don't like those odds. 4 minus 2 is 2, so she misses it by 1, so she takes a sanity point. He draws Frozen in Fear. Put it into play. The first time you perform one of the following: move, fight, or evade each round, it costs 1 additional action. At the end of your turn, you can test 3 sanity to discard it. Okay. All right, so I need to save an action here because it takes 1 to get out. Because this says if each under is done, advance. Which, yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's right. All right, so for 2 actions, she's gonna use 2 of her first aids for 2 actions to spend and heal 1 damage or horror. So she'll lose 2 of these. And the only reason I'm doing it is because sometimes in the story it'll tell you if you have lost so much health or sanity, there's additional penalties. So I wish I could get rid of all of them, but I don't have that choice. She is then going to resign. She is going to move out with Dr. Francis out the back alley, and she escapes. Now this says, objective, if each undefeated investigator has resigned, advance. So on his turn, he will do the exact same thing. He is going to play... Well, he can't. So he can't heal any of the damage because she had the first aid kit. So he will resign. He escapes, which allows me to advance this. I flip it over. You escape the club, doing your best to look inconspicuous as several cars pull up near the street. A handful of grim-faced men and women exit, running towards the restaurant's entrance to take control of the situation. One of them catches your eye, his hand on the grip of his .38, but thankfully he turns his attention back to the rest of the crew and follows them into the club. You breathe a sigh of relief. If an investigator resigned with Dr. Francis under control, Resolution 2. So now you go to Resolution 2 and you read it. What in the world? Dr. Morgan finally breaks out of his daze as you make your way to safety. You ask him what he remembers, and he sputters and shakes his head. It's all a haze, he explains, visibly exhausted. I was having the run of my life. Perhaps I had one too many shots. But those creatures, I haven't seen anything like that since. He trails off, and you can tell that his mind is racing. His eyes widen with realization, and his face pales. I may not be in the best shape, but I'll help with your investigation, whatever it takes. In your campaign log, record that O'Banion Gang has a bone to pick with the investigators. In your campaign log, record that the investigators rescued Dr. Morgan. Any one investigator may choose to add Dr. Morgan to his or her deck. This card does not count toward the investigator deck size. If any player cheated, I did not. Remember, that was one of these up here where you cheated. Add a chaos token to the bag for the remainder of the campaign. Each investigator earns experience equal to victory X of each card in the victory display. Proceed to extracurricular activity. So I did this one. I did this one. I did not do this one because it still has 2 tokens on it. I don't think any of these had victory on them. They did not. This one did not. I didn't defeat him. Yeah, so each investigator is going to get 2 XP, which I can use to upgrade some cards. I'll do that offline. I don't know. I'll have to look and see what I want to do, and I'll try to remember to let you know what I upgraded next turn. All right, that is it for part 1 of the Dunwich Legacy. Next game I will be playing will be Extracurricular Activity, which is where I go searching for Professor Warren Rice at Miskatonic University. I hope you enjoyed this. It's just such a fun game. Give it a try. If you don't want to invest in the game, maybe look at a local gaming store and ask them if they have a group of players that plays this. I know here in Atlanta there are groups that play it somewhat regularly, so you could always find a game by just saying, hey, I'm interested in learning the game. But hopefully by watching me play, you're learning a little bit about the rules and how this game plays. It's really, really fun, and I highly encourage you to give it a shot. All right, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me in this playthrough. I'll be back very soon with part 2 of the Dunwich Legacy. Until then, everybody, take care.